Let's see, is it working? I think it is. Just gotta wait for some people. Can anybody hear me? Let's see. What is this? I feel like we need some Jeopardy music. Da, 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 da. Who will be the first person to join? I wonder if I should set up the laptop to make absolutely sure. Hey, it looks like we have one person here. Who is the lucky winner? Hey, it's Cat and Kiwi. And Nanette, y'all tied. And IDK. Wow, you guys tied. I was waiting for a winner to see who was first, and you guys all popped up at once. Hello, Sullinger the Western. Hi, George. Welcome to my first ever live. How is everybody? And where's everybody from? Hi, Vicki. Hi, Gavin. This is my favorite fidget. I'd be lost without it. Nanette's from California. How hot was it there today, Nanette? Hey, Josie. This is my favorite fidget. It's called a pop socket, and it comes like this. I didn't make it. I'm doing great, Vicki. How are you? New Zealand, but in Alabama. I knew that, but others didn't. What's the one thing you miss the most about New Zealand? Where are you from, Vicki? I'm in Amarillo, Texas, for anybody that doesn't know. Can you guys hear me okay? And is this too loud? Yeehaw! Is that a cowboy? You know I'm blind. Is there anywhere I want to travel other than New Zealand? Let me think about that. I'm not a big far away from home kind of person. but I would like to see some states that I haven't been in yet. I would actually like to go to every state in the United States, and I feel like I've mostly been just on like all of the bottom half. Glad you can hear me. I don't know why my sound on my videos is so different than it is on here. Even when I make my videos and I edit my videos and put them on YouTube, when I edit them, they sound perfectly clear. But when they're uploaded on the YouTube app and I listen to them on my TV or my laptop, I can barely hear myself too. I don't know why it changes it so much. Ooh, 77 is nice. I'm gonna mix up Jackson's muffins while we're chatting. He didn't eat breakfast this morning because, oops. He didn't eat breakfast this morning because I didn't have any muffins made for him. I mean, he had other stuff, but he didn't want to eat anything else. He's been really back into the chocolate with the peppermint in them. My ideal temperature is between 50 and 60. That is like my absolute perfect temperature. I'll be out in capri pants and short sleeves and be very comfortable. These are chocolate chip, but then he always has me add about 4 or 5 drops of peppermint. They end up tasting exactly like a peppermint brownie, but I make them with this protein milk, so they're, you know, high protein and some kind of healthy, I guess. This is the milk I use. It has half the sugar of most milk and it has double the protein, or 1.5 times the protein. This pack of muffins makes 6 muffins and he'll usually eat those in 2 days. And it's super easy. Half a cup of milk, muffin mix. I guess I can maybe put them here where you can see them. You think Fairlife milk tastes terrible? Well, I'm glad my son drinks it. He has ARFID and he barely eats anything, and if it wasn't for this milk, he would probably be on a feeding tube. I don't really drink milk, so I wouldn't really know. It smells the same. What do you think it tastes like, Jim? Does it taste more watery, richer, thicker? What's the difference? Yeah, he drinks, I guess this is half gallon. He drinks one of these every 2 or 3 days, and that is really kind of what he survives on. Chalky? We won't tell him that. He likes it. He drinks several cups a day. He usually drinks a cup with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sometimes he'll drink more than that. These are really easy to mix up. Before I knew much about ARFID, I used to try to sneak things in the foods he would eat, and it really backfired on me, because if it tastes, smells, or the texture is any different at all, he won't eat it ever again, because he'll always think that it's not right, that something's wrong with it. A long time ago, he used to eat these. I agree, Jim. I don't really like soy milk, almond milk, oat milk. I don't like any of those either. So about a year ago, he used to eat these quite often, and I was trying to get more nutrition in him, so I decided to put an egg in here because I thought, well, he won't taste it. It won't be any different, but it would have a little bit more protein from the egg. And oh my gosh, it backfired. The whole texture was different. To me or to anybody else, it was fine. It tasted more like a cupcake, I guess, than a moist muffin. But to him, he stopped eating these for months, and he will just now eat them again. And it's because we went a really, really long time without them. Sometimes he'll go back to a food and sometimes he won't. About a month ago, he was really, really struggling to eat anything at all. So I offered to try these again, and he tried them and he liked them, as long as they have the peppermint. A typical dinner for Jackson, there's one kind of frozen pizza Jackson will eat. It's a Tombstone. Well, there's actually two. They're both Tombstone, and he'll do the triple cheese or the 4 cheese. He'll eat that for dinner, or he will eat, occasionally he'll eat a piece of ham. Only one brand of ham, one kind of ham. I have to cook it exactly the same. We get local honey from the honey farm, and I just warm it in a pan just with a little bit of honey and nothing else. Sometimes he'll eat that. Occasionally, maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, I can convince him to eat a McDonald's cheeseburger with only ketchup. There we go, I did 5 drops. That's about what he likes. That's pretty much a lot of nights for dinner, or a lot of times for any meal, he'll just kind of snack. He'll eat a piece of fruit, some kind of like saltine crackers, maybe graham crackers. Sometimes string cheese. Yeah, we do our best, whatever he wants. He has gotten lately into, once in a while, he'll eat the popcorn chicken that they make at Walmart in the little deli section. He'll only eat it if it looks a certain way. Hey, Cammie. So that's how fast this was. It's already mixed, it's already made. Gonna throw in some muffin papers. We've been going through these like crazy, because I've been going through muffins like crazy with him. I get that, Jim. Jackson will eat French fries from very certain places. Cheese balls. He wanted a pack of cheese balls at Halloween, and he's the kid that honestly, if he asks for anything, we'll buy it, even if we kind of know he won't eat it. If he even wants to look at it or smell it or be around it or whatever, you know, we'll get it. So at Halloween, did I say Christmas a minute ago? At Halloween, he wanted me to buy this big old box of cheese balls, and I still have them in my pantry. I probably need to throw them away. I'm sure they're not any good. I don't even think he ate 1 pack out of them. The grandkids did eat a few. Okay, I think I have the peppermint mixed in enough. You don't have to mix these much, but I try to get the peppermint, and all the chocolate chips fall down here and go in the end ones. So I try to kind of scoop them up before I put them in his muffins, and try to save some down there at the end so I can add them in a minute. Y'all want to know something funny? I filmed a really long video today, and it was stuff that I'm pretty sure everyone would enjoy. It was, you know, kind of a little bitty Sam's haul that we bought, and I showed that, and then I was stocking the pantry, and I was restocking the jars over here that hold my dried goods that everybody likes. And I was wearing the new microphone because everybody really liked it and said they could hear me better. Well, when I went to edit it, the whole first 2 clips that were really, really long, there was no sound whatsoever. And it was like the gist of the whole video. I didn't really want to just ditch them. I didn't want to not use the video because people seem to like watching, you know, the grocery hauls and that kind of stuff. So I just did voiceover, and I couldn't even remember all of what I said. So my voiceover is, might be a little bit comical, but here in a couple of weeks, you'll see it, and you'll know exactly what I was talking about. You'll be like, oh, there she is. So I did voiceover and tried to read my own lips and tried to remember whatever I was telling you guys about the stuff. See, now we're to the good chocolate chips. Can you see that? I'm trying to make sure we get some in each muffin. If it was me, I would call these cupcakes. But since Jackson doesn't like cupcakes, we continue to refer to them as muffins. At Christmas time, my mom brought over a dessert, and it was brownies that had crushed up candy canes in them, and the icing was chocolate with candy cane in it. And Jackson's not a dessert eater. You know, he kind of just sticks to his same stuff all the time, but he loved the smell of them, and he ended up eating 1 or 2 of those brownies. So after that is when I really convinced him to eat these, when we figured out that we could make them peppermint and chocolate, and they taste a lot like the brownies. Oh, I made a mess on the pan. Dang it, I try to be so neat because I don't like dishes. I like to just try to keep it clean and not have to wash the pan. Oh well, he's worth it. Let's get it all in there, all that we can. Hey, Life on Foothill. Peppermint and chocolate is yum. Jim, that's the way I was raised too. And I'm going to tell you what, I didn't know I was autistic when I was a kid, but I was raised that I had to sit at the table and eat whatever was on my plate, and I wasn't allowed to get up until it was eaten. I sat night after night after night at my dinner table long after everybody else was gone. My sister did too, a lot of nights. And the only thing it taught me was to be sneaky. I would either fill my mouth with food and go and flush it down the toilet, or I would figure out how to sneak it in a napkin and put it in the trash, or I would sit there in misery all night long until I went to bed. And I was super, super skinny as a kid. I looked like very malnourished. And it was because I didn't eat. If it wasn't a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a piece of fruit, or I've always been into starches like mashed potatoes and things like that. So it didn't work. It didn't make me eat well. But what it did do is, I think it's a big reason that I am such a big girl today and I have battled my weight so bad. Because number one, it taught me to clean my plate no matter if I was full or if I was hungry. You know, you ignore your body's signals. You stop listening to yourself when you are raised in such a disciplinarian, behavioralistic household. You completely turn off anything that your body tells you, which is not healthy at all. Not food-wise and not people-wise. You know, all it does is teach you to let everyone take advantage of you because everyone else's feelings and thoughts are more important than your own. So that wouldn't work for Jackson anyway. I've talked about this in my videos before. Yeah, it's hard. It would not work for Jackson. Jackson, literally, he can't even be in the room. He can't even come out of his bedroom when we cook certain foods. There's no way he can get close enough to it to eat it. And when he goes through periods where he can't even eat his safe foods, he got so skinny in 1 year. He used to be a little chubby kid because he was on a medication that made him hungry all the time when he was younger. And so he got kind of chubby, still eating his safe foods, but he would eat a lot more of them. And we had taken him off of those for other reasons. He didn't need that medication anymore. And he really, really struggled to eat when he was in public school. He was always just so anxious and always on edge, and everything was going wrong. He lost 17 pounds in 1 year, and he was like 6 or 7 or 8. You cannot lose 17 pounds in a year when you're that age. I really thought we were gonna have to put him on a feeding tube. That's when he was diagnosed with ARFID, because that's when the doctor really realized how bad the issue was. You could offer the kid a carton of ice cream or a birthday cake or candy bars. He won't eat any of it. He's very, very brand specific. It was very, very scary. We were at a horrible point in his life and our lives at that time. We had to make drastic changes on our family, including pulling him out of school and lots of therapies and things like that. But He has a wonderful team of professionals. 1 second, let me get these put in here. Ziggy, set a timer for 13 minutes.
13 minutes, starting now.
He has a wonderful team of professionals that work together, several different ones. Okay, Cat and Kiwi. See you guys in a little while, or I'll talk to you later. Hi, Jericho and Piper. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, they don't even want us to put Jackson in feeding therapy because his anxiety around food is absolutely horrific. So if we cause even more anxiety in any way, shape, or form, it will just backfire on us. So he eats whatever he can. He eats whenever he can. Even as a toddler, he wasn't a toddler that would come and ask us for food. He would just come in here and get stuff. You know, again, the communication difference of autism. He was verbal, but he would never think to come ask us for stuff. He would just get into stuff and get what he wanted. By the time he was 2 years old, I had the lowest pantry shelf and the lowest refrigerator shelf stocked with things I knew that he would eat because he would just come in here and get it. And if I intervened or we tried to figure out what he wanted or any of that, it was so frustrating to him that he would just end up in a meltdown and not even eat anything. So he's always just been able to eat what he wants when he wants. I will never do the eat what's on your plate. And I was different with my older 2 kids. You know, we have 2 adult kids, and I did raise them different. I raised them, you know, a little bit more like I was raised, but also a little bit more lenient. I didn't make them eat things that they absolutely hated. But I did try to get them to eat whatever we served, you know, but they didn't have ARFID either. They had particular wants and needs, but they were able to eat a fairly decent variety of, you know, family meals. What did you guys have for dinner tonight? When you were a kid, did you always want to lick the beaters or lick the batter or whatever when you baked? I have to keep myself out of this because, you know, this is definitely not on my health plan, but I could slurp all this down quickly. It smells amazing. So let's put some water in it and remove the temptation. I saw some people that are, you know, trying to lose weight and be healthy. Ooh, Nanette, that sounds amazing. I love Mexican food. So I guess the new trend is when you're trying to lose weight or get healthy, if there's something that you really want, to eat 3 bites of it and get rid of it. I can't eat 3 bites of anything and get rid of it. I'm an all or nothing girl. If there's something that I think I'm going to overeat or binge on or, you know, like this, if I was to eat this, I would lick it clean. I have to just get rid of it completely because there's not 3 bites and put it down. I would eat the whole thing in 3 bites just to get the 3 bites in. Yeah, me too, Jim. I can't even let myself eat one of these muffins because I'll just want to eat more than one. I had stuffed bell peppers for dinner. I bought them at Sam's today, which will be in the video. Anything I tell you, you're going to watch, but you won't see it for 2 or 3 weeks because I'm pretty behind in videos. Or I'm pretty ahead, I guess you would say. I have already up until like the 17th of videos loaded up. I have no willpower either. This past year, losing 75 pounds is the first time in my life that I've really, really had willpower, and it's because I don't let myself slip. Not that I haven't at all, but, you know, I really try to prevent it. And I've realized if you don't ever eat sugar and you don't eat a lot of carbs, your body really doesn't crave them like it did. It's, they call it brain hunger. It's your brain telling you that you're hungry or your brain telling you that you want this stuff. And I have a lot of what people call food noise. I literally think about food from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed. And I think I have my whole adult life. Ever since I was out on my own and buying my own groceries and cooking my own food, it's always like, oh, what am I going to eat later? I can be eating a meal and I'll be trying to figure out what I'm going to eat next, which is, you know, what got me into being such a big girl. But I've really just had to put myself on a schedule. Yeah, Jim, I understand that. I eat my feelings a lot too. And that's one of the big things I've tried to change. You know, I wanted to eat when I was happy, eat when I was sad. And that's kind of our culture here, I think. Every get together people have is eating. Let's meet at a restaurant, or let's have a cookout, or let's go to a tailgate party, or everything here is eating or drinking. I'm not a drinker, so mine was eating or eating. But all we can do is try our best every day. You know, some days we do great, some days we fail. And we just get back up and do it again the next day. These have a few more minutes. If any of you guys saw my video last time I made muffins, has that video even been out where I made chocolate muffins yet? I don't know if it has or not, but I noticed when I made the video how dirty this glass was on my toaster oven. And that's not something I notice in everyday life. I'm not an observant person at all. When I go over here and use the toaster oven, I never noticed. But I noticed it on the video, and boy, I cleaned that thing as good as I could the other day. I cleaned the pan down underneath it too. It's still kind of dirty, but I cleaned it the best I could. I scrubbed it with steel wool and cleaned it the best I could. Let's sit down over here for a minute. I'm not a kind of person that can sit and chat if I don't have something to do. That's why I thought bacon muffins would be easier. Now I'm gonna go back to my fidget. Hey, MMC. I wish I knew how to say your name right. Is it Mass or Moss? And I don't know how you would tell me on here. Welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. Nana, you did see it? Okay, good. Does it look better now? It does smell good in here. Does anybody have that one thing in their house that's super raggedy and old, but no matter what other one you buy, you don't like it, you still keep using the same old raggedy one? I have used this hot pad probably my whole adult life. I probably had this the very first house I ever moved out from, and I don't even know where it came from. Probably a garage sale or something. And I have so many other hot pads, so many other ones. My daughter even bought me a really cute one for Christmas, and I still use this one every time. It's the only one that won't burn my hand, but it's flexible enough I can grab anything I want with it. I definitely want to use it like this because it would definitely burn my hand. It's really thin. I just use it like this and just kind of pinch the pan. But this is the only one I use. Any other one I use, I'm so clumsy with it. It does smell really good in here. Did anybody do anything exciting today? Same here, Nana. I went and picked up my mom for a little bit, took her for a walk. Last week, was it last week? My mom was parked in front of her house. Oh, you colored, Nanette? I need to get into coloring. I'm not very artsy. I try to be, but I'm just not. Yes, my can opener, my handheld can opener. I love it though. I love it. I don't always like to have the latest and the greatest. I usually don't like the latest and the greatest, but I am adapting very well to my new phone. Kind of makes me wonder why I put it off for so long. But I guess there's a time and a season for everything, and this was the time. Last week, my mom was parked by the curb in the front of her house overnight. My nephew lives with her, my 18-year-old nephew, and he had parked in the driveway, and he has to leave real early for work. So she parked in the street by the curb, and in the wee hours of the morning, a guy that lives down the street from her smashed into her car. And we just found out yesterday that the insurance is going to total it out because it's an older car. So she's pretty down in the dumps, and we're trying to figure out, she can't afford a new car, but she's not yet ready to give up that freedom. It's so hard, but I've assured her that I will pick her up and take her anywhere she ever needs to go. And if we need to set one day a week for me to take her on errands, we can do that. Whatever she needs to do. I went and picked her up today and hung out with her for a little while. It's terrible, isn't it? And I know the guy felt bad. He was on his way to work in the morning, and he said some of his papers had slid off the passenger seat into the floorboard, and he leaned over to pick him up. And when he leaned over to pick him up, he swerved and he hit her car. It is the freedom. And my mom's a retired preschool teacher, but she still works part-time. She retired for 1 year, and she hated being home by herself all the time. So she still works. She only works 3 or 4 hours a day, but in the school year, that's important to her. And my sister or I or my nephew can let her use his car on the weekends. You know, we can do errands and stuff, but none of us can actually take her to work every single day. So that would be the one thing she would have to give up, besides just the freedom of knowing you can go somewhere. Bye. Have a great night. Thank you so much for stopping in. I know it's a very different time there. I think it's 11 a.m. I don't know, Nanette. I really don't know. I don't think she's going to get much for the car that she had. And technically, the car that she was driving was actually my daughter's car that my daughter hasn't used in years, and she just kind of let my mom use it. So I don't know. And you know, the price of cars is crazy. I don't know if it's just where we live. When the price of housing went up, the price of vehicles went up horribly here. An older model car, and I'm talking a 20-year-old car that has 200,000 miles on it or more. People want $6,000 or $7,000 for those now here. It's crazy, horrible. A car that you used to could buy for $700 or $800, they want $7,000 for it now, and it's probably not even going to last you a year. So it's just one of those things. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It is insane. It's ridiculous. I don't know what the answer is, and I don't have anything that she can drive, or I would let her, you know. I don't know. And I don't know. It's hard to lose that freedom. Even when you know you could have a ride. I can drive to my mom's house in 5 minutes. I could pick her up any day at any time and take her somewhere. So it's not really the fact of not being able to get somewhere. It's just the fact, you know, has your car ever been in the shop and you don't need to go anywhere at all? You have zero place to go, and if you had a car, you still wouldn't go anywhere, but you still have that thought in the back of your mind that you're kind of trapped or you're kind of stuck. But hopefully she knows she could call me anytime for a ride. Let's see, my mom is, what year is this? 2025. My mom will be 75 in the fall. She's still young. I mean, I'm not calling her old, she's still young. But at 75, would you want to buy another car? I don't know. That's a big expense, even if you had the money. Ziggy, stop. Let's get these muffins out and look at them. There they are. They always end up lopsided in it. I'm sure it's just because my toaster oven. I think it blows air around even when it's not on air fryer mode. She is a young at heart person. She really is, and she's not ready to slow down yet. I always take these out of the pan and I just set them on the stove burner. I don't want them to cook any more than they're cooked, because if they get any different consistency on the bottom, Jackson won't eat them. If anything at all looks different, smells different, or tastes different, he's done. Nanette, are we the only people here? Is anybody else still in here? Oh, okay, Jim. I'll chat as long as you guys want to chat. I'm not in a hurry, but if it was just me and Nanette, I was gonna end it now. Where are you from, Jim? Massachusetts. We're actually going to travel that way sometime this year or next year. We're not sure yet. When my 2 grown kids were teenagers, we went to Boston, and it was my weather or Jim's weather. What's your weather like, Jim? Nanette, I think you know my weather. It's hot and humid here. We have never, ever, ever been humid like this, but it is ridiculous this year. It's like I'm back in Oklahoma. When my 2 grown kids were teenagers, we drove all the way to Maine one year. Yeah, that's fine. And Boston had things that we have never, ever seen before. It was the first time my husband and I had ever seen street performers. They fascinated me. We have wanted to go back since we went the first time. Wow, Jim, that is perfect. That's ideal weather. How cold is the ocean there? When the one and only time we went when we were in Maine, it was freezing. I didn't know how people were swimming in it. And I love cold water. I even take a cold shower almost every morning now that it's summertime. I remember the water was choppy, really, really choppy. But we didn't have a whole long time to stay there. We tried to cram so much. Yeah, wetsuits. Ooh, I could never wear a wetsuit. I have way too many sensory issues for that. I mean, we still had a good time. My kids got in there. Oh, Jim, that's amazing. What kind of fish do you catch? My husband can't wait to eat lobster when we go back. We went to a little restaurant. We went to the aquarium in Boston. And if I remember right, we walked down a little ways and there was a restaurant. And we ate there and we could see all the sailboats out on the water from there. If I remember right, it's been years ago, but I can remember some pictures and things that we have. My husband and my older son ate the lobster, and man, they just loved it. We don't get fresh fish here. I'm at the very top of Texas, and we're about 13 hours from the ocean, so nothing is fresh here seafood-wise. We don't get any good fruit here. It's all picked really, really unripe, whatever the opposite of ripe is. It's picked very, very green and shipped up here. The best fruit we get is frozen most of the time. We don't get seafood. Conchas, black sea bass, scallops. That is a really cool job. That's awesome. Do you stay out on the ship for like several days at a time and then come back, or is it like day fishing? My husband and I used to watch a TV show where they would deep sea fish. I always liked watching that. I used to watch TV. I don't know why I can't watch TV anymore. My mind can't focus on it at all. I think TikTok and Facebook Reels have ruined people's attention span. I wish you guys could smell my house. Wouldn't it be nice if we had like smell-o-vision? Imagine the smell of chocolate chip cookies in the oven and crushed up candy canes. It's kind of what it smells like in here. Day fishing with traps, scallops. I got 65-foot boat. We go for 5 days. That's really cool, Jim. My ex-husband, I was married just for a couple of years right out of high school, and my ex-husband was in the Navy. And the one and only time I went on the Navy ship, they had come back from tour They had come back from about, I think, a 6-month tour, and they weren't allowed to get off the ship yet. They had to stay on the ship for so many hours once they got back. But the families were allowed to go, and this is when my daughter was a little baby in a stroller. And I went on the ship just long enough. I think we had dinner and we got to look around the ship and stuff, and oh my gosh, I was so seasick. The world was spinning. It was, I don't know how people did it. I thought I was gonna toss my cookies, if you know what I mean. I think we had to leave early because I couldn't handle being on the ship. But we have a little boat and I can go out on the lake in it and I'm fine. Fine? I can't talk. It's late at night. Jim, I bet you have some cool stories to tell of neat things you've seen. Things that we all think are spectacular. Like if I saw a whale in the water, I would think that was amazing. Like a killer whale or a pod of whales. The few times I've seen a dolphin, I was like ecstatic. And I'm sure you see a lot more than that. When I was a kid, we went Did I end? No, mine says 41 minutes, 38 seconds. That's weird. I wonder if we have a time limit. This is my first time to go live and I have some restrictions. Okay. One thing it said, Nanette, when I finally was able to go live today, it said that because I don't have 1,000 subscribers, that when I go live, I can only have 25 people that aren't subscribers enter my live. And once I've hit 25, they make it a private event. So I may have had 25 people come in and leave. Maybe they capped it, I don't know. Nice. Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I was at the beach and we saw some people deep sea fishing right up there on the beach. And we saw someone reel in a shark. Yeah, there is some, I'm just now learning all of the rules on YouTube. I just hit 100 subscribers this week. So thank you, Nanette, for being part of that. Jim, if you're a subscriber, thank you for being part of that. I didn't know if I'd, ever get more than the 20 people that I already knew. And I don't think very many new people watch my videos. I think it's the same people every time, but I appreciate you. When I started YouTube, I just wanted to find my tribe. I wanted to find people that understood me. I wanted to find people that, like-minded, that just want to be a community together, because we don't have that anymore. And I've found that just in the few people that I have as my subs, the few that watch every single day and comment every single day. I don't care if I get big or not. I couldn't ask for more. This is exactly what I wanted. Even with 2 or 3 people in the live chat, if we weren't live chatting, I'd just be in there sitting on the couch by myself. To put the thumbs up, that's a good idea, Jim. I think it'll just take time too. I haven't had very many jobs outside of my home. Well, I have, but they were jobs that I could take my kids to. I was a house cleaner for years, and I took my kids with me until they were big enough to go to school. And I babysat for years and years and years. And I did that because I could still live the whole lives that my kids wanted to live. And I took the kids with me. Wherever my kids wanted to go, those kids went. We went to the pool. We went to the museums. My kids played every sport. My older two kids, we lived in a really small town, and literally every kid played every sport. And I just took the kids that I babysat with me. I used to clean a beauty shop in exchange for free haircuts for my family of 4 when the other kids were little. So I've done a lot of work and made always, the extra cash income, but never. Okay, Jim, thanks for joining. Yeah, anybody in here? All right. Thanks for joining, Jim. I'll try to catch you next time. Have a good night. Nanette, we can close off of here too. I'll text you in a little bit. Let's see if I can even figure out how to end a live, because I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll just hit the X. All right, I'll text you, Nanette. Thanks for joining. Have a good night too.